The rain fell in a steady rhythm, a haunting lullaby to my unsettled thoughts. The old mansion stood before me, its grandeur long faded, swallowed by the encroaching darkness. My footsteps echoed through the empty halls as I ventured into the heart of the decaying estate. This was the place, the setting for my latest exploration into the depths of psychological horror. As a connoisseur of the macabre, I sought to dissect the very essence of fear. The mansion, whispered to be haunted, became my canvas for unraveling the complexities of the human mind when confronted by the unknown. The air inside was thick with a palpable sense of dread. Shadows danced on the walls, playing tricks on my already jittery nerves. The creaking floorboards beneath me seemed to protest my intrusion, each step accompanied by an unsettling symphony of groans. I reached the grand staircase, its once polished banisters now coated in a layer of dust. Ascending, I couldn't shake the feeling of eyes following my every move. The mansion seemed alive, its history woven into the very fabric of its walls. Entering what appeared to be a study, I was greeted by the musty scent of aged books. The room was adorned with elaborate wallpaper peeling at the edges, and a single flickering candle cast eerie shadows on the shelves. Among the tomes, I discovered a journal, its leather cover worn with time. As I read the entries, the inked words painted a vivid picture of a family that once called this mansion home. A tragic tale unfolded, a tale of betrayal, madness, and a descent into the darkest recesses of the human psyche. It was a story that resonated with the very core of my fascination. The more I immersed myself in the narrative, the more the walls seemed to close in. The air grew heavy, laden with the weight of a sorrowful history. I couldn't escape the feeling that the mansion itself was a living entity, pulsating with the residual emotions of its long-departed residents. My investigation led me to a hidden passage behind a bookshelf, a corridor that seemed to defy the very architecture of the mansion. The darkness swallowed me as I traversed the narrow, winding path. Whispers echoed, indistinguishable voices that seemed to taunt and beckon. Emerging into a dimly lit chamber, I found myself in what appeared to be a child's playroom frozen in time. Dust-covered toys lay scattered, their once vibrant colors muted by the passage of years. A solitary rocking horse swayed gently, as if moved by an unseen hand. I felt a sudden chill as the temperature plummeted. The room seemed to breathe, its walls contracting and expanding like the chest of a slumbering beast. The journal entries had hinted at the demise of a young child, and the air was now charged with the grief of a mourning mother. A soft melody, haunting and melancholic, drifted through the stillness. It was the distant sound of a music box, playing a tune that sent shivers down my spine. I followed the spectral melody through a labyrinth of corridors until I reached the source. The music box sat atop a weathered dresser in what appeared to be a nursery. The room was adorned with faded wallpaper, adorned with dancing animals, a stark contrast to the sorrow that lingered in the air. The music box continued its mournful tune, its notes hanging in the air like the ghosts of a bygone era. As I listened, the room transformed before my eyes. Shadows gave way to apparitions, phantoms of the past trapped in a perpetual loop of tragedy. A mother, her eyes filled with anguish, cradled a spectral child. The ghostly figures moved in a macabre ballet, reenacting the final moments of their lives. In the midst of this ethereal performance, I became an unwilling participant. The mother turned her gaze toward me, her eyes pleading for release from the purgatory that held her captive. I felt the weight of her sorrow pressing upon my chest, a suffocating embrace that threatened to consume my sanity. A voice, soft and sorrowful, whispered in the recesses of my mind. It was a plea for understanding, a yearning to be set free from the shackles of a tormented existence. The line between observer and participant blurred as I became entangled in the tragic narrative. I stumbled backward, the oppressive atmosphere releasing its grip as I exited the nursery. The mansion seemed to exhale, and the spectral manifestations retreated into the shadows. The rain outside had ceased, leaving behind an eerie stillness. As I descended the grand staircase, I couldn't shake the feeling that the mansion itself had allowed me a glimpse into the darkest corners of the human soul. It had become a vessel, a conduit for the manifestation of psychological horrors that transcended the boundaries of time. Leaving the mansion, I carried with me the weight of the experience, haunted by the echoes of a family trapped in a perpetual nightmare. The line between fiction and reality had blurred, and I questioned whether I had truly explored the depths of psychological horror or if the mansion had explored the depths of me.